Told you, boys and girls, I'd be right back with reveal number 820. We have a 1954D roll waiting for you here. We'll be going through it in just a couple of minutes as soon as I start to see a person or two show up. I like to give people the opportunity to watch things happen as they happen rather than having to catch up. There's Dan, there's Mark, there's Otis, there's Shinbone. Good evening. All right, let's see what we have here. We've got a 1954D plastic tube roll. Looks like a pretty decent roll from the outside edge. I'm going to dump it out here, take it one coin at a time, and look through the whole thing, see what we've got. Had one coin stuck in the bottom of the tube, didn't want to come out. I managed to coerce it out of the tube. So here we go. Coin number 1 goes to Brad Anderson. And Brad gets this coin right here. See that little dot inside upper 4? That is a small die chip that we can use as a marker. There are a few dies that have that. Hopefully we'll only run into one of them this time around. We can use that as our marker. Hello, Doug. Oh, we got nothing on that one. Let's check coin number 2 for Dan McCumber. Mr. Dan got a real slight doubled mint mark here. You can see that little ledge of doubling running across the bottom of the mint mark. Also got some slight doubling in the upper and lower serifs. So we're going to beat this one over in the direction of Eric and let him take a look at it and see what he thinks about it. If it's not already listed, it may be too minor for us to list. Back up here a little bit, take a look at the reverse. Nothing really going on there. And that was for Dan. Let's take a look at a coin for Paul. Mr. Hampton. Don't see anything here. A few spots on this one. Yeah, nothing there. Number 4, Shinbone. Nothing like any of the others that we've seen here so far, so it is just another normal die. Oh, Mr. Ash, good evening to you, sir. This roll is one of the ones that's from the week preceding your participation. We will be into those 5 rolls beginning tomorrow. This is the last of the rolls from this 2-week ago period, and then last week we had 5 more rolls that I'll be going through beginning tomorrow. Then Tuesday evening I will have another 5 rolls prepared for people to purchase spots on Tuesday. Because of the holiday, we're moving everything forward one day. So Tuesday, we will have another reveal show. And then Wednesday will be our auction this week. I got a whole lot of stuff to put up for auction. A whole lot of stuff. Oops. Get back up there. Get back up there where I told you to be. Reminds me of the folks I grew up around. Quit lipping me, boy. Give me more lip, I'll give you a reason to cry. Alright, Taco John. Got a normal one. How about coin number 8 now, Mark? One for Mark. And let me get just a little bit closer here. Did I run the slabs? No, I did not. That will come up Wednesday. I tried doing it this past Tuesday, and what happened was YouTube had problems with the studio, the backdrop studio for creators, and nobody could start a new stream. So it wasn't allowing us into the portion where you see all your videos and all your streams. And so there were probably no live streams at all that evening on Tuesday this past week. So it'll be coming up this Wednesday. Thinking there's a chance this coin might not have sounded right. Let me check here. Nope, it's good. It's all you have to do is tip it up a little bit, let it settle on a table. Listen to the sound. Get used to that sound. Know what it sounds like, and when you hear something different, then you'll know you have a different weight of coin. You only lack one coin to fill the wheat album from the auction. The 09S VDB. Well, that's fortunate. Unfortunately, I can't help you. I do not have an 09S VDB and probably will not have for at least another month to 2 months. It could be as much as 6 months before I have another one. But I will be working toward coming up with the funding to get one and actually find one that's in decent shape for the price. That's the hardest thing to do, is find one that's not overpriced. Now, Farm Dog. And seriously, folks, the market is made up so that this is one of that first RPM. The market is made up so that on the key date coins, if you gain 3% on a sale, you've done very, very well. Because typically selling those is less than 3%. 1% of 800 is 8. So you get 1% on one of those coins, you make $8. And you're good to make 25. A $3.95 bid for a Woody 1909 SVDB. One of two things. It was either stolen or it was fake, or it's very low grade. You get one of those in very fine condition, which is a nice respectable grade. It's going to run you at least $800, and there is no way you're going to find it cheaper. Not unless somebody is completely underselling it and doesn't know what they have. Seeing a lot of coins from the same dies over and over again, which is a good thing. Shows us we're getting an original roll. The only bad thing about it is it doesn't seem we're actually running into much of anything. Yeah, if you're finding an 09S VDB that has detail that's selling for under $500, there's a pretty high chance you're getting a fake coin. Pretty high chance you're buying a counterfeit. Unless you're getting it from some kid who stole it from their relative and is selling it for drug money, you know. That happens too. Wow, we're not finding anything in this roll. I expected to find something in this roll. Right, Mark? I would too. I'd be beating people out of line to get mine for under 400. Just doesn't happen anymore. 400 used to be a nice respectable price to pay for one that was in VG fine condition. Anymore, you can't find them for that. Am I shipping packages out anytime soon? I have already shipped out all the packages I have to ship out. Anyone who has not yet received tracking on a package from me probably owes on an invoice they haven't paid. That's definitely a good idea, Mike. I would definitely do that. Man, this roll turned out not so good. Can never tell just by looking at the top few coins in a roll what the rest of the roll is going to turn out to look like. I mean, in general, the coins look pretty nice till you get them up under a microscope. When you get them up under a microscope, you're just blowing up all the little flaws it has, and they look huge. But you know, when you just look at the coin, it's not so bad. To answer your question specifically, Shinbone, I do believe I did ship a package to you a few days back. If you've not received it yet, I'd check the tracking that you were sent through email. I'm not holding anything of yours. Check a reverse here and there once in a while just to keep myself honest, right? Coin number 25 now for Carl. Seen this die before. It's got two little tiny horns sticking up out of the D. Seen quite a few of these. You didn't receive a tracking email. Well, I'll check to take a look, see what we've got. I am relatively certain anything that you would have had has already been shipped. I think I'm holding on to packages from 3 or 4, maybe 5 people. Have a little bit of trouble with people understanding the idea that when you come to bid at an auction, payment is expected within 48 hours. That's 2 days, not 7, not 10. And I'm getting instances where I'm not getting paid for auction items within a week to 2 week, even 3 weeks. That's just not acceptable. Will do, Mark. That hasn't happened, but will do. Hello, Paula. Good evening to you, May. I haven't seen him post here in just a little while, but our gentleman who was asking about the $50, I told him that he should email you with pictures. There you go. Take a look at that. There's another little RPM. A little line across the bottom. And the split on the top, you got split top and bottom serifs. Oh, I'm the same way, Paula. I just hate it. So Paul gets an RPM here. Now coin number 30. Doug. Well, he came in on this broadcast asking about his 1976 $50 and how to tell if it's a double die. So he's back to square one. I don't think he remembered the request for email, which I told him again that if he wanted to know, he should send you the pictures because you're pretty good at doing what you do. And I would think if you're offering your services to anyone, especially free. Oh, look at that. Nice little doubled mint mark there. That they should take advantage of it, not question it, especially when it's not costing them anything. So we got two different RPMs now. Here's one for Eric. And Eric, it's a normal coin. Later die state. Struck through grease on about 100 quarters from a sealed bank box purchased in 21. Those types of things generally after a coin is brand new are really hard to sell because people catch on to the fact that once the new wears off of them, nobody really cares. I mean, that's just the cold hard fact. Double dies, repunchment marks, things like that last a long time as far as collector interest is concerned. I agree with you, Mark. I'm just nowhere near the point of being able to use it. I'm still working on the bare foundation of my new website version, which I should be starting here within a couple of weeks. Well, even if they are identical, it doesn't make them a die variety. It makes them a minor nuisance to the striking process that most people don't gain anything out of, so they have very little market following, if any. I mean, good on you. If you can put them on eBay and sell them, that's fine. Thing is that there's just not there's not a general market consensus about value on them because so very few people actually care about them. Talking about struck through grease coins. Yeah, 100 that are identical, probably not struck through grease. It's probably a, what would it be? It'd be a damaged die. They've been selling by other sellers. Well, that's fine. Probably a die chip, actually. If people are selling them and people are buying them, then fine. I just, I don't know, I just skip over it. Yeah, Paula, you should see this Mercury dime. It's very tempting to call it a double die. Here's number 40 for Carl. Not finding a lot in this, just a couple of relatively minor RPMs. This will be the last broadcast for this evening. Then I will be back tomorrow, perhaps, with a few more reveals. Kind of depends on what the family decides to do tomorrow. Everybody's off work and it's a holiday, so I'm going to fall in line with what everyone else wants to do. If they want to stay here and just kind of bum around and hang out, then I will come up here and get on reveals. If they have someplace particular they want to go and they would like for me to go with them, I will go. Either way around. Man, there's some spotty coins in here. I hate that about this, but you can't generally tell when you don't open the rolls and go through them. I got this from a relatively clean source with a lot of nice rolls. I expected this was going to be a little nicer than it is. Looks like I'm going to have to start doing grade checks on my rolls when I get them. One for Taco John. I can tell you for sure, Mr. Ash, that a bumble fumble in how a number of coins were struck on a particular press using a particular die pair does not make it a die variety. The die variety is on the die prior to the die being hung to mint any coins. If it developed on the die as the die was striking coins, it is not a die variety. A variety is an intended change in the design on a given type for a given year, such as large date, small date, mint mark styles, things like that. So you don't have a variety or a die variety, and there is no other name like variety for coins. Those are the only two, and I just gave you the definitions for both. What you have at most is a die error. Small die error, minor die error. And that would be at most, because most of the time things like that are considered part of the tolerance of minting coins and are not considered anything that needs to be pulled from the press. Did I do my NGC submission? Are you asking me, Paula? I did. If you're asking me. What are we? We are 2 coins short. I did not realize that. We have 2 people we're going to have to make up to. That was a die scratch there in front of the eye. Yes, I did. I took my coins to the Summer Fun Show back in July and turned them in. 406 coins turned in, 133 of which came back ungraded, and the other 273 came back graded. There's my 2 people who are going to be missing a coin in this roll. So we're going to have to work on trying to find you some sort of a replacement I'll find something for you two guys in 54D. That'll be nice. And that is going to mark the end of the broadcast. Paula, what I've been telling people, trying to work on the idea of, I have about 260 coins that I photographed prior to sending them in that came back in slabs. And I'm going to work with AI to create an online test, a self-test, a scoring test of whether or not a raw coin, you get to look at the raw coin pictures and click a button as to whether you think yes or no did it grade. And if you select properly, it gives you a point. At the end of the game, which will be about roughly 30 coins, it will give you your score of a 0 to 30. And those scores will be tracked and kept track of. And we will also keep track of which ones were most correctly answered and most incorrectly answered. And we will include that in a show that we will have in the future regarding bulk grading at NGC. And then I'm going to step forward with a few other things like sending in some of the coins on a regular economy grading to see if the grades turn out different, because it will be different people grading them. So that grading challenge that I put out should be within the next couple of weeks. In fact, I'm getting ready to start building the data tables and everything for it here real soon. So anyway, I'll talk to you folks later. Have a great night, great evening, and a great remainder of this holiday weekend. Be well. I'll see you later.